We begin today's recording by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we are on. I am on Burrawang land. Where are you, Breezer?
I am on the land of the Djajarurrung people.
We pay our respects to the elders past and present and extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who are tuning in today.
And wherever you're listening to the potty today, make sure you know whose land you're on. Join us each week for some booze-free banter about life without booze.
If you're entertaining cutting back your booze by a day, a week, a month, or for the rest of your life, we would love for you to tune in.
Buckle up and come along for a ride that may just change your life. Just a heads up, some of the conversations we have may be triggering. Reach out to your local support centre in Australia. That's Lifeline 131144. Let's crack a can, Meso.
Let's crack an Altina.
What are you drinking today, Meso?
A sangria, because I love it. Yum, yum, yum.
Is that your favourite flavour of the Altina range?
Oh, my goodness.
It's so hard, isn't it?
It really, I can't decide. They're all so good. Have you got a fave?
Oh, look, by Bees Dick, Sangria for sure. Yeah, Sangria.
It's taking it home.
Taking it home. But today I'm picking into a Altina Levit in a rosé bottle.
In the bottle, the sharing bottle. Did you ever share a bottle though?
If it had alcohol in it?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I'd be watching that bottle like a hawk. But now I'm all about the sharing is caring.
Yeah.
And Altina have been very generous and they're giving our listeners, what are they giving them, Meso?
DC code 10% off when you use discount code BFB10. Get you 10% off the whole range. We love you, Altina.
Yep, shop up a storm at www.altinadrinks.com. Thanks, Altina.
We love you.
Meso! Look
Look
at us. We are in I feel like this is our unofficial uniform for BFB.
I'm worthy. Journey to the worthy. And
I've got gratitude written on my T-shirt. Do you want me to share a quick little story about this? This is the best T-shirt. So I got it from the Good Human Factory. Cooper Chapman, we had on back in, I'm going to say October, the start of October, we had Cooper on.
Yeah.
And he has, Good Human Factory. He also has a podcast called The Good Humans, I think it is.
Yep.
Anyway, so I bought this T-shirt and it's a gratitude, and on the back it says, "What are you grateful for today?" And I rocked it all weekend. Like, I shit you not, mate. So I wore it Saturday, all day Saturday, I wore it all day Sunday, and on Sunday it was a little bit warmer, and I was in Geelong and I walked into the KFC on Calder Highway.
Yeah.
And this is about, 3:00 Sunday afternoon, maybe 4:00. And I had the T-shirt on and there was a group of tradies that had just ordered. So it was about 6 young tradies, right?
Yeah.
And so I sort of bounced up to the counter and when you just know you got eyes burning at the back of you.
Yeah.
I would definitely read the T-shirt, which made me think, I hope they've stopped and had a think about what they were grateful for.
Yes.
So, positive message. What about your T-shirt?
It's Journey to the Worthy. So Vanessa is a body positive, body influencer, or just worthy. You are worthy. She's
Beautiful.
amazing. Yeah, she's on Insta, and it's all about being worthy.
Love that.
Worthy.
This T-shirt is the best quality too, FYI.
Oh, yeah, love that.
Unreal quality.
It's fun, and this one's real good quals as well.
It's got a little thing on the arm. It.
Yeah, she actually puts together care packages and donates to women as well. And she does go around Australia doing big talks, big keynote speaking about being worthy.
How do we find her, Meso?
Yeah, she's Journey to the Worthy on Instagram.
Okay, yeah, sweet. You did say that.
Yeah,
so
pop that. That's okay, no problem. She's a ripper. So yeah, look at us supporting all the people.
And this was not planned, peeps. This is just random. This is the universe.
We didn't plan this. All right, all black. What else?
I also need to mention that the day of this recording is my beautiful grandma's 95th birthday.
Grandma, happy birthday.
Yeah. So I spoke to her this morning, and today's like crazy day with kids' sports after school, but we'll go and see her later this evening.
Oh.
So 95 big ones.
95. I can't remember her name.
Pauline.
Pauline, happy birthday, Pauline. What a legend. I can see you light up when you talk about her, Breezer. It's very special relationship.
Incredible.
I love it. She sounds like a powerhouse. Love her.
I actually spoke about Gotorandama in season 1 when I shared my story.
Yes.
And actually I'm going to pull out a ripping segue if you don't mind.
Go for gold. I'm here for it.
This is a bit of a spoiler alert about today's topic.
Yeah.
Grandma, every Christmas, Grandma has a sherry.
Yes.
And she has it in like a little fancy little crystal glass, and she just sips on it, and yeah, that's her little treat.
I love that so much.
Which-
sherry used to go in the trifle, didn't it?
Yeah.
My grandma used to have a nipper cherry as well. Cherry.
Sherry.
Sherry. Oh, that's classic. It's
So I don't know if she's still doing it. Yeah, I don't know if she's still doing it, actually. I'll have to keep my eyes on her this Christmas to see if she rips it out.
But bust out a non-alc sherry.
Yeah. But we are talking about Christmas today. But before we get into that, we have got confession session.
Oh, no.
Confession session, it's time to play. Where you tell us what you're ashamed to say.
Sometimes I think I'll run out and then I'm never going to run out.
I know, mate. I'm the same.
What do you got? Who's gone?
Well, this is actually, this one, it's not a story as a one incident as such, but it was a period of my life when I had moved into a rental home. The kids were young. Elkie was like, 6 months old. Cruz was 2. And I was going through a really hard time personally. And I look at that time. So it would have been, I was jotting down some notes this morning. It was probably a 12, 24-month period, so 1 to 2 years. And I feel like I chose booze over my children during that time. And I really regret it, Meso. Like, it does, hurt me in the heart when I think about it. So I try not to think about it because it's something I 100% regret. You can't get that time back. And there were times when, I was drunk. I was drunk, and then the next day I wasn't a great mother to them. And there was other times when I was like, I need a babysitter. I need to get a babysitter because I want to go out tonight. Like, just stuff that I'm definitely not proud of. And so, it really made me just stop and think that booze was controlling a part of my life back then. And it was that coping. It was that, numb myself, all that sort of stuff that we speak about so often on this podcast. And I just, at that 12 to 24-month period when my babies were babies, I definitely wasn't proud of some of the choices that I made back then.
Oh, Breezer, I can feel that through Zoom.
Yeah.
I can feel that in your heart, that, that shame and regret, and just like you can't get that time back. And just looking back and going, that was really fucked. Sorry, sweary. But it was like booze, like to put that a priority over.
And I often think, Meso, like
that's huge for you to fess that up. That's massive.
Like I often think, imagine like if the kids were in bed and something had happened. I don't know. I just think of all, like, to me, being on the piss, and as unfortunate events do happen when you're drunk. And I just think, imagine something bad had happened.
Yeah.
And, I was injured, or, the worst case scenario, killed or something like that because of my intoxication.
Because of the choices you made.
So I think of all that stuff, and I just think I don't ever want to put my kids in that situation again. And I remember actually as a child, so I would have been like in primary school, and Mum had gone out for dinner, right? And obviously Mum didn't go out that often because she was always there for us kids. And she went out for dinner one night, and I remember being in bed going, Mum's not home yet. Like, it might have been 9:30. And I was worried, going, oh my God, something's happened to her. She's probably been, I don't know, something she's been mugged, or like I was like really dramatizing the situation. But I just remember, and I still remember as now I'm 42, but I remember that feeling as a child of being really worried about my mum.
Yes.
So I don't want Mike to have and it's probably the only time Mum's been out for dinner, like when we were little kids, because she was such a, dedicated mum. But I don't want to put my kids in that situation. I don't ever want them to have that feeling. I don't know, can you relate to that, Meso, like as a child?
Yeah. Well, the thing that I think about it now, actually, like even when I was on the booze, when I was caring for Dad, and that guilt that I felt that if something, what did I think? What did I think was going to happen? If he went downhill and I was boozed up, like, it made me think that's where I was going with that. Sorry, I probably can't even touch that actually. I just want to reach through the Zoom and give you a big hug, Breezer. Like,
thanks, mate.
it's huge. It's really heavy because it's your kiddos.
Yeah, and like, you can't undo it, but
No.
thankfully nothing bad happened.
Nothing bad happened. You're here to tell the tale.
Yeah.
But I think this also just really highlights how we all, so many of us use booze as a crutch, booze as a coping mechanism, booze as a support system. And that's evident when, how many people do you talk to now, Breezer, and they go, oh, I couldn't do that. I couldn't get off the booze. I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
And realising how ingrained alcohol is into people's lives, that it's not an option to give it up. Or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just can't see life without alcohol.
Yeah.
And that's tragic because sobriety is a gift.
That you popped into my head the other day about sobriety being a gift, Meso, because I know you often say it, and you chimed in my head. I can't remember what the situation was. I might have been thinking about someone thinking, I wish they could drink less to actually see that how great life can be. You don't have to have booze in it all the time.
100%.
And it's not about, it's not about essentially eliminating it for good, but it could just be that they cut down or, they have a night off here and there. Or, it opens up other opportunities, as we know.
Oh, 100%, which is makes me think about, I think, even our first episode, which I feel like we're nearly 12 at that 12-month where we will be by the time this episode drops. And I feel like I've hit another level of clarity. Like I feel like I'm just off my head, excited and pumped and just invincible. And like I remember one of the first episode, I wish I could bottle this clarity of what sobriety feels like and give it to people and say, try this bottle.
Yeah.
Have this cup of clarity, as Katie Minogue says, because it's an absolute gift. And I can't, and it's hard. How can you sell that to people? People don't get it.
You've got to, don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. So, mate, thank you so much for sharing. I know that's a hard one, but what an amazing, you're in a position now where you can reflect upon that. So many people don't and are still in that same situation, and I'm sure they are riddled with guilt daily, but it's a cycle because they just keep drinking, putting the booze before the kids and the priority. So well done by you for sharing that. I know that's heavy on your heart, so thanks.
Light up the mood, Meso. Light it
up. All right, well, so I'd like to say this happened to somebody else, but
here we go.
So as you were, this will be real damaging for my brand, my Claire's Dog Squad from 2021.
I'm really loving this.
Oh no! So I was looking after a couple of doggos. I don't know. It was a Thursday night, and I had a late call for someone. They said, "Oh, can you look after my dog for a few hours tonight?" I was like, "Yeah, no worries," because they were called into work. I was like, "Yeah, no worries." Already been stuck into the margies because these dogs we'd already been out all day.
So,
so I was already half cut. I'm like, yeah, no worries, I can take on another one. Anyway, I thought, it'd be a good idea. More dogs in the mix. We better just go over the road and give them a run around the dog park. And the dog park is heaving. It's summer, heaps of dogs everywhere. I don't even know how many dogs I had, but this particular dog was deaf. Really old and deaf. Anyway, I couldn't really see out my own eyes, but we were having a good time, and all the dogs, I sort of had them in tow, sort of. I don't know. My ex was there at the time, so it sort of was kind of under control until I couldn't find this deaf dog.
I did.
I'd lost the deaf dog.
Oh, mate.
So I'm calling out to this deaf dog. We'll call it deaf dog. Deaf dog, deaf dog.
That was a bit fruitless, I feel.
I couldn't give a name. I can't expose myself completely here. So anyway, I was calling out to this dog, and obviously people could feel this energy of this dog that was lost. Anyway, eventually some people came over and said, "Oh, you're looking for this dog?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm looking." The dog was way over over the road in another park. Like, no, completely butchered it. Oh my God, I lost the dog because I was drunk. Okay, so is that Claire's Dog Squad cancelled? I think Claire's Dog Squad.
I think you've just cancelled yourself, mate. know what though? The dog would have been having the time
Oh,
of his life, so you gave that freedom.
Yeah, they love going on a little adventure. Just
And the owner's none the wiser. None the wiser.
Until they listen to this podcast. But let's be honest, I'm off the booze now, so it's safe. Dogs are safe with me. I'll blow in the bag.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the before you signing?
Like you're on a mine site.
Yes.
Yeah.
Zero tolerance.
You know what? There's something in that though, to have that on a lot of jobs. I feel there should be that kind of situation.
Who would have thought you'd have to have it with the dog squad? Shit.
There's always a first when it comes to you, Maso.
Anyway, at least
thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
That was I did get a giggle from that one.
I'm sure parents have lost their kids a bit boozed up at times.
Oh,
too,
without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah,
actually. God, you just made me think of another shame story. I mean, confession session. You know what? I was actually thinking the other day, should we go back to shame story? I don't know. Anyway, confession, like it's the same, but I do like our jingle, confession session jingle. I like them all. Anyway.
Maybe we'll mix it up. Maybe we'll drop in. We'll just keep everyone on their toes. Alternate. Depending on how shameful it is.
That's it. Is it shame story or is it just a confession session?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's crack into it. Let's crack into the potty. Christmas. We are nearly at Christmas. And just can I just say, Christmas decorations have been in the stores since the start of October.
Oh.
So if you haven't already organised your Christmas decorations, then you're bloody slack because you've had 8 weeks to do it. I'm nearly Christmas out before we're even in the month of December.
I'm a Grinch.
Are you really though? Like dead set?
No, I'm not a Grinch. I'm not a Grinch. I think it's just been just Christmases haven't been what you think they're going to be. I think we've spoken about this last time, so we can rehash it again. But I think it's really important to highlight that Christmas isn't great for everyone. Yeah,
and do you know what? I feel like these days that it's more, I hear more of, Christmas is a bit of a debacle than Christmas is all happy, you know. Yeah. And if people are just happy, then maybe they're putting on facade. I don't know. I'm being Mrs. Cynical here. I am being Mrs. Cynical. Mind you, like I've had the best Christmases forever and a day until I didn't. Which was when it came down to separate family. It came down to separation. That's when it sort of flipped it on its head for me. But up until then, I was like Christmas cheerleader. I loved it. And I still do love it for kids. But the other thing with Christmas is up until, 18 months ago, I would associate it with booze.
Yeah, massive.
Like the whole month of December, booze.
Booze City.
Could you imagine, Maso, back in the day going to a Christmas function and not drinking?
Hell no.
Like, what? You just skip it, wouldn't you?
What do you mean? Christmas is cancelled.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, when you go to the shops, you buy all the food, but you just stock up on grog.
You stock up. Because the other thing with that is you stock up thinking in your head, this is what I used to, I'm not moving on Boxing Day. So I need to pre-plan that week of nothingness in between where no one knows what day or time it is.
Yeah.
You've got to prepare for that week as well.
Yes.
Mind you, everything's open, like bottle shops that are open.
But you don't want to have to go anywhere.
Yeah. And the other big one that I feel like has robbed me of Christmas days has been Christmas Eve.
Ooh.
Christmas Eve.
Didn't you do your little bubbly? Didn't you?
Yep. So it was a bubbly. It was 2 bells of verve because you wouldn't just want to get one. And
so
then
you're little legless and you write your little card.
Write my little letter. I'd write a letter to the kids.
Oh, I love that.
And be like falling into the bottle of bubbles.
Having a real moment.
Yeah. And then you do, obviously the next day you push through. But I feel like last year was probably the first Christmas Eve I didn't drink Meso. Would you be the same? Or have you had many sober Christmas Eves?
Oh, only if I was working. Maybe.
Yeah.
If I was flying. But no, in saying that though, I would have got somewhere and
you would have found some liquor.
Yeah. The minibar would have got a touch up.
So yeah, I feel like literally last year was the first time since probably 16 or 17.
Wow, it's a long time, isn't it?
That I did a sober Christmas Eve.
Well done. That's massive.
And
actually, No, I had one when I was off the booze 10 years ago. Sorry, I cut you off, but I
No.
can't remember what that looked like. I can't remember where I was or what I was doing, but yeah. So I have had one, but nothing significant that I need to talk about here. So skip that. Back to you.
No. I want to know. I want to know what you did. I want to know what happened.
I don't remember.
Where were you? In Abu Dhabi or?
No, I was in Melbourne, but I must have been working. I would have been. I don't know.
You would have kept yourself busy.
Yeah, I think I was working.
Which is funny.
I think I was working, and I think I remember I was in Adelaide actually. Oh, I think I do remember now. Yeah, I was in Adelaide on an overnight, and I remember sitting at the river Christmas Day, just miserable, just sat there crying.
Oh, mate. Because you were just like,
I think
it was Christmas?
Because I was by myself. It was Christmas. I think I'd been called out. I wasn't with all like crew that I knew, and I had a breakup earlier that year, and
reflecting
all that. Yeah,
all that time.
Pretty miserable. Yeah. I think that's what's happened.
Isn't that funny? You just reminded me, Meso, that one of our friends who similar boat to me, separated and just like Christmas. So she was a shift worker back then, so she made sure she was working. Yes. And I've heard that a couple of times with people.
Me.
Is that
Yep. I'd rather work, and then I just don't have to. Don't get me wrong. My thing is, I loved Christmas as a kid, even into an adult. Loved it. Loved the tears, wrapped presents. Really made my present wrapping was actually better than the present inside. Like I made a big deal. I loved it. Loved the tree. Loved all my decorations on my tree. They were significant. I got them from different parts of the world. I loved all the tiz. I loved it. It was never overboard, but it was always nice. I liked it, and I always organised with the family to have everyone bought presents, or what did you want? I didn't want anyone to buy shit they didn't need or want. Like it had to be like a really good solid present. Yeah, what do you actually want?
Because you're an organizer.
Yeah. I want something that's really, and I always loved it. I think I don't know that I really want to unpack what happened and what changed, but
well, circumstances, obviously.
Circumstances, yeah. Yes. And then when I think as you get older, like, I don't know, Mum just doesn't love Christmas. She passes out a bit. Sorry, Mum. Sorry, just stop doing it. Dad doesn't care. He can leave it. He's like, just another day. I think when you get to 78, you're just like, I'm done with this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they're just, so you're kind of pushing shit up a bit of hill.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm really sweary today.
Yeah.
Circumstances change, and it's just easier to work. And I think,
which is, one of the things I actually wrote down is if you are, if you do want to cut back your booze this Christmas, then throw yourself into work. And you are a shift worker, or there's opportunity to work, and you're a bit, you're pazzing out like your mum in terms of just family stuff and all that, because that's when it can become a bit like, oh, how's it going to be? Throw yourself into work.
Yeah.
Or the other thing I actually jotted down, I'm probably jumping ahead here, Meso, so I apologise while it's in my head, because I came up with this the other day. I was like, oh, that's a good one. Is if you are cutting back or not drinking this Christmas, and I'm talking about the whole of December, and you want to have a really, you want to remember everything and have a great Christmas and not be hung, treat yourself and buy yourself something. So instead of spending $1,000, which we could easily do in December, $1,000 can go like that on booze, just slabs, wine, champagne, nights out, parties. I could easily clock up $1,000.
Easy.
Spend that money on yourself and treat yourself with something.
Yes.
Reward yourself, because it isn't easy. And opportunities to drink present themselves nearly every bloody day in December, as does eating chocolate. So just to be mindful of that, and just think of the next day. Like you just feel so good when you don't drink the next day.
So good. So good. Yep, up and about, fresh as a button.
Yeah, so last Christmas Eve I put the kids' trampoline together. That was last year. Yeah, I had help. But so we just had like a barbecue. So on Christmas Eve, I always spend it with the kids' dad and the kids, and we just hang out and enjoy the day. Nice. Yeah. And so I obviously wasn't drinking, but I was on the AF beers. Yeah. So I had a barbecue, then started putting the trampoline together. And I hope these kids don't listen to the podcast. And then we did that, and I drank some more AF beers, and then called it a night. And it didn't go till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
2 a.m. It was, I think we were done by like midnight-ish.
Yeah.
Bed.
I love this so much that you go to bed when you're ready to go to bed and you have a good sleep. And you just peel off and go to bed when you're ready, not when you're just mangled and just
That's
being
right.
a mongrel at 2 a.m.
Because then the kids wake up like a few hours later, which is what happens. They wake up a few hours later.
Yeah.
So then you're just behind the 8 ball.
Playing
straight
catch up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Straight up. You feel like crap, but you're trying to put a facade on, trying to be up and about, all that. But you're just like, oh, I want to go back to bed.
And it's such a big day. Like it's
a
such
huge
big
day.
It's massive. And I think that's the thing. We've said it last year as well. Like there's so much pressure put on this day for families
one day.
to all be happy families.
Mm.
And it's not always like that for everybody. So it's my message here that you do have permission to just, if you don't want to do that family, don't. Like if it's something, it's boundaries, isn't it? It's creating boundaries. If you don't want to be around those people that are uncomfortable, you don't have to do it. Like there's this societal pressure to have everything perfect and it's frog shit. So many families
I don't know
even
any
like each
perfect
other.
family. I don't know any perfect family.
But we're, as again, marketed in every marketing and advertising campaign. There's the,
100%.
white picket fence and family. That's what we're meant to
100%.
aspire to, and it's garbage.
Yeah, it's garbage. Throw in the bin. The other thing that helped me last year, Meso, was because I had to drive the kids to their dads.
Yeah.
So if you are driving this Christmas, obviously don't drink. But that kept me I'm like, well, I've got to get the kids to their dad's house. So drinking wasn't even in the realm of a choice because I had to get behind the wheel.
Yeah.
So that was another. There was a lot of driving actually. So that was another. I suppose hook in to make sure I didn't crack. Not that I think I was going to, but this Christmas, because I have dipped my toe back in, I was actually thinking about it, going, "Oh, I'm actually hosting lunch this year."
Oh, yeah.
Yep, but I still have to drive.
Okay.
So that made me think, what happens if some of our listeners are hosting and they're concerned they're going to get absolutely trolleyed?
Yeah.
One thing I had written down is if you are hosting, only buy what you think. Only buy, instead of buying 2 bottles of wine for yourself, buy 1 bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Or and I couldn't do this one. I was going to say ask someone to hide any other alcohol that's around, but then I'd be pestering them so hard to say, give me that other bottle of wine. So that possibly won't work. But just even set a goal of I'm going to have 2 drinks for the day. That's it.
Yeah.
And try. And we know how hard moderating is, but maybe set yourself a little goal and then reward yourself the next day by going to Boxing Day sales, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Just set those little achievable goals.
Yes.
Because we know it can escalate so much. We've all been there.
Yeah. Totally.
We've all been there when it comes to Christmas.
Exactly. And again, circling back, we use it as booze as a crutch to get through Christmas as well, to numb the pain, because it can be a really painful and triggering time.
Yes. So alcohol-free drinks, which obviously we love as well. Yeah. And I think, the more noise that we all make about alcohol-free drinks at venues, the more that publicans will listen.
Yeah.
And perhaps stock. Actually, I had a conversation I actually wanted to share. It was a few weeks, so I was back in October, and I was chatting to this girl at the pub, and we got chatting away, and this is in Echuca, and I was like, "Oh, you're local?" And she's like, "No, I'm from Shepparton." And she's like,
shout out to Shep.
Shout out to Shep. She said, I've got the night off. I manage a pub. I think it was the Vic. I know, it's a one in the corner. Anyway, so I was like, oh, yeah. And I said, this is going to sound like a random question. I said, but do you have alcohol-free drinks? And she goes, nah. She goes, nah. And she goes, our clientele, she goes, we don't have any demand for it. And she said, our clientele are men in their 70s who come in for a glass of beer and a conversation, and they're never going to be wanting alcohol-free And I was like, really interesting. I'm like, yeah, totally can understand why you wouldn't stock it because it's not going to sell. And I feel like her clientele are set in their ways and like they just want to have a beer, enjoy their beer, talk to the public and crack on home.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it is. How even I was talking to a friend the other day about an alcohol-free drinks event, and her husband's like, no, why would I want to go to an alcohol-free drinks event? Like, there's no booze there. Do you know what I mean? Oh, yeah. It's really interesting.
Yeah. And that I think
like that's just why would I want to do that?
Yeah. And that's possibly a reflection of his personality. He's not curious. He's not willing to try new things, all that sort of stuff. Not necessarily perhaps related to booze, but like, yeah. And no judgment, absolutely no judgment because, I would be like, I'm up for trying anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
But I probably would have been the same. What would be the point of that back in the day?
Would you have gone though?
I don't know. I think if my friends would, if it was, if it was you, and said come and do this, I'd be like, yeah, I'll get behind it. Whatever you're doing, I'll come along with what you're saying. It's fun. I'll come. Do you know what I mean?
But you wouldn't seek it out.
Probably not. No, isn't that interesting?
It is. It is. But I think we're all about this body normalizing. If you're drinking, not drinking, whatever it is, whatever your bag is, then hopefully everyone can be included.
Yeah, exactly.
That's that inclusion that we have.
Yeah.
What else?
So I get that. So I get where he's coming from.
Yeah, yes.
Because I would have been a bit the same. But I'm like, just come. It's important to you. Totally. Get behind it. Just come and try it. Like, do you know what I mean? And I think this is that's the biggest thing about alcohol-free events is the wholesome inclusion. It's the wholesome connections and inclusions, and as Noddy talks about, is engagement.
Yes.
It's not that same bullshit conversation that you're having all the time.
Yeah, you're going deeper.
Oh, I have to tell you a quick story. Actually.
Yeah, go.
I was at a function just recently, and there was two people there. They were related. One of them has been off the booze for 6 or so months, and the other one wasn't. And it was extraordinary to see this sober person, the wholesome conversation I was having with this sober person and their relative, and the demise in the relative.
Wow!
And just watching, it was really interesting. This conversation I was having with the sober one, amazing.
Did you know both of them, Maso, before this event?
I knew both of them.
Yeah.
And then this other one, I felt like even the way they looked at me and they were all a bit wobbly, and I thought, you're not even going to remember this conversation. It doesn't even matter what I'm saying to you right now. You're not even going to actually remember what we're talking about.
Do you feel like you were directing the conversation to the sober person more because they were sober? Like you were in their, not in their grill, but you were connecting with them more?
I was shoving drinks down their throat. I was pressuring. I did. I wanted to talk to the sober person. I really wanted to talk to them and have that wholesome conversation, because the wobbly one was, just sort of had that goofy look on their face and, hey, I don't know. It was so interesting. I
was actually reflecting this morning, Maso, going, there would be some people, and I was one of them, that hadn't done a Christmas without booze or haven't done social interactions without booze or Christmas Eve, for example. Christmas Eve up until last Christmas Eve was always blind.
Yeah.
Like always.
Well, it's the biggest. Back at my hometown, it was always the biggest turnout. These Christmas Eve, everyone comes home, all your schoolmates. It's like a big reunion. Yes. Everyone gets absolutely shit-faced, and then they're all hungover Saturday.
Yeah.
And in fact, in my hometown of Kerrang, we have Boxing Day races. So the big days, the races, you know what I mean? So it's just a massive sesh.
Oh, a massive sesh.
And Christmas is just a write-off in between all of that.
Yeah. So it just made me think of people haven't experienced things through a sober lens, which actually got me really a bit sad for those, no one in particular, but just in general.
Yes.
That people haven't been able to experience things without being soaked in booze.
And correct.
And Christmas is one of them.
I couldn't agree with you more. That's what we're talking about. This, sobriety is such a gift.
Yeah.
And I wish Oh, I just wish we could bottle it up and give it to everyone. Sorry, way off the track. Getting back to Christmas. Back to your list, Teresa.
Yeah, no, I'm working through the list. I am working through the list. I think. Oh yeah, for me, a big one for me is like the whole month of December. Obviously, lots of social interactions, which is great fun. But I always want to make it about the kids.
Yeah,
so it's always about the kids, you know, and I really get into that spirit because of them, which is great. So yeah, if you are, you know, thinking about cutting back your booze or cutting it out completely this December and you are a parent, make it about the kids. That's a really great distraction.
Yeah,
Such a
love
distraction.
that.
It's just
Love
like,
that.
right, I'm going to go and do this, because there is things that you can't do when you're poleaxed with like there's lots of things you can't do when you're poleaxed with the kids. Or you put your choices of social interactions over their choices.
Yeah,
because you're going to friends' homes and you're getting, you know, poleaxed, or you're catching up for barbecues and stuff like that. So yeah, putting someone else's needs first. Kids or relatives or whoever it is putting someone else's needs first.
Yeah, love that. And didn't you do some volunteer work?
Yes. Well, that was over Easter. I did bunny ears on and eggs around the hospital ward, but there is also lots of opportunities to volunteer. I looked into it for Christmas, but the kids couldn't come with me or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, there is lots of opportunities to volunteer for those less fortunate over Christmas, and it's a really nice thing to do.
Love that. Love that. If I'm not working, I think I'm going to do that, actually. Yeah.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah, I've been talking about it for years and just never it ended up working. So,
yeah.
But it's nice. So, but even when you're working, like, you're still bringing the Christmas cheer to guests.
Oh, absolutely.
So it is, and it is really nice, actually. I do love that time of year where you greet every guest that comes on board the aircraft with Merry Christmas, Christmas. It's really sweet, or Happy Easter, or Happy New Year. Like, there's those really significant. It's really sweet when everyone from all walks of life, you know, all diversity, like, you know, different languages. It's gorgeous. It's really sweet. So there is still a bit of, although I sound like I've been a bit grinchy, I do really enjoy that.
Actually, it was in the newsagents on the weekend, and they had like a life size of the Grinch in a Santa outfit, because we love the Grinch. So we love watching Christmas movies. Like, I love it. I bring on Christmas movies. Yeah.
Will Ferrell, Elf, my favourite.
There's some cracking Christmas movies, and I'm a Christmas movie tragic. But yeah, the Grinch was a classic, like a big fat Grinch man, Santa outfit on, and he pressed a button and he did something, and my daughter pressed it and she jumped back because she got a big fright. But yeah, I love a bit of Grinch on Christmas too.
Love that.
But for our listeners, if you need any tools to help you listen to the potty. And just, December can be a really tough month from a lot of different perspectives and angles, but and we've both experienced sober Decembers. My first one was last year. You've done it a couple of times, May, so we know how good it is.
Yeah, it is so good. You'll get through it. Yeah. If you have a drink, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. No one died. You'll just get back. Release yourself of the shame.
That's it. Yeah.
Remind yourself that it is the most addictive substance, along with heroin and sugar. You know, market to us. You know, it's a big deal. If, as we say, if sobriety was easy, everyone would be doing it. It's not easy. So be really proud of yourself.
That's it.
You know, we love having you here listening to the potty. We get so much feedback and DMs, and, you know, we love being part of your journey, your sobriety journey, of whatever that looks like. So thank you for tuning in. We're so proud of you all. Merry Christmas.
It's a phone fucker with the PH, so we don't give an F with the call or text. Phone fucker with the PH.
Okay, so I've put a bit of a twist on phone fuck up today.
Yep. What you got? I love it.
And the subtitle is Tech Trauma. So this is not my story, but it happened to a friend. So he was actually out and about. It was like he was out and about probably at a pub or something. Anyway, he got an email at like 1:30 in the morning. Anyway, it was from a client of his, and the client went on this huge rant. It was a Friday, 1:00 in the morning, or Saturday, 1:00 in the morning. So clearly that person was drinking. And so I thought would better be a keyboard warrior, and just jumped on and emailed this friend of mine, emailed him and let it all out. And so my friend saw it, and he then went to reply, but thought better of it. But yeah, the wash up of it that was actually my friend then reached out to this person. And just said, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Because obviously you're drinking, and then work stuff's on your mind, and then you're then venting through an email, which is very unprofessional. They're a professional service. So he then checked in on that person just to say, emails. Did you know this little little fun fact that in, I think it's France, and sorry if anyone's listening, I butchered that country. But we'll go with France. That if you send an email outside of the hours between 9 to 5 to your employees, you get a huge fine.
No way, Jose.
It's like $70,000. Again, could be wrong. But I think they've made it that high, so they mean business. Yeah. So it's for the well-being of employees.
Amazing.
The boss cannot contact their employees via email. Possibly phone. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but after, their working hours.
Oh, go French.
Yeah.
Wow.
How good's that?
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So that's about as far as I go with that. But yeah, getting back to his email. So yeah, this person was sozzled Friday night, probably had slab of beer, whatever he was drinking, and then bang, straight onto the emails and wrote stuff that he wouldn't have written if he hadn't been drinking.
Yeah, right. Really let it out.
And we always say just step away from any technology. If you are drinking, just have no tech in sight. Do how you used to do to get your personal space, you put your arms out and spin around. That's how far you need to be from technology. If you're on the source.
Just send it to yourself. If you need to get it out, just send it to yourself or send a text message to yourself. Because even that process of just being able to write and vent, it's very therapeutic. But send it and being able to press send, it's like, fuck you.
It's like when you hang up the phone, you used to hang up the phone. Now you can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. But if you send it back to yourself, you can reflect on it the next day. And then if you really want to send it, okay, well then send it. But we always need an edit after you've been boozy. So yeah.
Take the emotion out.
Stick to the facts.
emotion. That's it.
How good was your friend though, or that said, "Are you okay?" That was really good, rather than just going, cringe and
or
just
biting
stepping
back
away
and adding fuel to the fire. Or probably, this guy was probably potentially embarrassed.
Oh, of course.
So then thinking the next day, oh my God, did I send that email regret?
Good tech trauma.
Yeah, tech trauma.
Thanks for sharing, Breezer.
You're welcome. Thanks for listening.
It's time for the recommendation of the week.
Okay, I've got Michelle Laurie's books. Have you read these?
I've got them both also, but I reckon I've loaned them out to people and God knows where they are. But love them.
Buddhism for breakups and Buddhism for the unbelievably busy.
Both amazing. Both amazing key takeouts.
Honestly, so I didn't know how to meditate. She taught me how to meditate, and she taught me about impermanence. What is impermanence?
Same. Yes. I pull it out every now and then as well.
Do ya?
Yep.
So honestly, I was like, what is this impermanence? And I was hating it when I was reading it. I get it now. Everything is changing. There's nothing more permanent than impermanence. Amazing books, and just a really easy read, really easy to understand. She's fun, gives you tips. It's just great to be able to go back to. Cannot recommend them more highly to understand. Because I don't know about you, Breezer, but meditation, I never got it. I always thought I was shit at it, could never really understand it or get it. And she really explains it. It's like Buddhism for dummies, sort of. It's just a really easy read. So I can't recommend
it's a great read. And obviously she's a comedian. There's some really funny bits in it. Two of my key takeouts, and I read these probably 4 or 5 years ago, I reckon.
Same.
Is The Hungry Ghost. I'd never heard of that before I read the book.
Right, yeah.
The Hungry Ghost. And also I think she's got a whole chapter on it, or her piece of advice is go and get a haircut. If you break up, go and get a new hairdo. I love that.
She's brilliant. She's so funny. She's dynamite. So yeah, thanks,
that's
Michelle
awesome.
Lowry.
Reco, lovely Reco, love it.
Great. What do you got?
A bit underprepared today, Meso, but I actually want to reco this T-shirt.
Yes,
product recommendation, because I spoke about it earlier, but the quality of it. I'm actually rocking a men's small because I love T-shirts a bit big, like a bit baggier.
Yeah.
But the quality of it, and I just I rocked around, as I said, all weekend in Geelong, and I just knew people looking at me.
Yeah.
And I know that would have prompted either someone going, "Oh, look at the back of her T-shirt," or they would have thought about what they were grateful for today.
Yeah.
So I love it. I'm in Cooper's 1% group on Instagram, so I put my little gratitude in every day there as well, and a few people like it, which is cute. But yeah, this T-shirt, so it's got the Good Human Factory, and they've got the merch on there. I'm going to buy some more when they were out of stock on a couple of things. But
Incredible.
Love the merch, love the message that he's spreading, love everything he's doing. And I hope that one day I get to meet him in IRL.
Yes, same. He's a mover and a shaker, isn't he?
Spreading the good word. Yeah,
he really
absolutely
is. Love you, Cooper Chapman.
Absolutely. Well, buckle up, everyone. The Christmas onslaught is well and truly here. So you've got this no matter what, sort of, if you're cutting back, if you're cutting out, whatever you're doing, having a night off it, whatever it is, good luck and enjoy all the benefits.
Exactly. Order up your AF drinks, get them on, get them in, get your Altina in, get over, give us 5 stars, chuck us a review. We love you, Eric.
Yeah, that's our Christmas present.
Yeah.
People. Give us a review.
It really does. It makes a massive difference for the potty to share it, tell friends, let take over the world.
Get around
love
us.
you. Merry
Love
Christmas.
you. Bye. Merry Christmas. Bye.
This podcast is proudly produced by our audio engineer, music extraordinaire, Eric Ladd.
We love you, Eric.